What's up YouTube? BW368 coming at you with an update slash discussion video on the new changes for Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, it's a little bit late. My schedule's been kind of hectic for work, but I figured I'd record this now in the morning before I have to go in just to give you, again, an update and have a little discussion about stuff. So, updates for the decks. Hieratic Guard Dragon, the Raging deck I made, didn't do so well. Again, there was a lot of bricking. Couldn't get into my Tefanuits or my searches fast enough. Yeah, it was a pretty bad. Updated a little bit. I believe I put in the Wyverns and some other things, so I will probably be getting a deck profile for that sometime relatively soon, hopefully. Gravekeepers, I believe I played 2 matches. I can't remember what the other deck was, but I did play against a zombie deck, which is fairly decent. It did go into 3 matches, but from the playtesting of my 2 matches, the deck is just too slow, unfortunately. Like, it has the potential to stop your opponent from doing a lot of stuff in the very beginning, but it's just a fact of you need to find that consistency with the monster count and the trap count. Those are the 2 main counts that you really need to keep an eye on, because if you draw too many monsters, your hand becomes dead. If you draw too many traps, you're not going to be able to do any damage, and it's still going to be dead. A lot of the spells and traps, even though it is balanced for having a grave, like I already said, having a gravekeeper and an Echo Valley in the field, is a nice balance to the traps and to the one Vanity Emptiness spell. If you don't have those are dead cards. So, unfortunately, in my opinion, it is a decent deck, but just a fun locals deck. It's not going to be anything competitive because it can't really do anything, unfortunately. Now on to the discussion video. Today we're going to be discussing the new rule changes and just the state of the meta, honestly, at this point. Since coming back, I feel like this has been a pretty solid game state where basically anything can top at this point, as we've seen in the most recent regionals. That, I mean, it's mostly been Sky Strikers, Salamangreats, and I think Thunder Dragons, but as there has been other decks in that mix, it's not just like a main 3 that have made it, or main 2, as we've seen in the past, where it's like it's either Six Samurai or a bit Burning Abyss, or the even poisonous, the literally worst format I've ever played in, which was Windups and Insectors. Everybody knows that was the worst format ever. I know what Konami was thinking, which was money for getting that set out, but just the fact of I either start with no hand or no field was absolutely no fun whatsoever for that meta. Absolutely garbage. Anyway, this format I think that we're in is pretty decent. Only change I would like to have would be having Max C back. That would be kind of nice to have. So could we get Max C back, please, Konami? That would be really sweet. And maybe a rule change for the U. Just get rid of that. That would be also awesome, because if my opponent spams out a bunch of link monsters and prevents me from being able to summon extra deck monsters, that kind of seems like an unfair advantage on my opponent's part, especially when 2 of the 3 monsters that they're going to summon, 2 of the 5, honestly, if we're going to be honest here, 2 of the 5 or 6, 3 of them are probably going to have negations. So unless I'm running like double Dark Hole and a Regeki, I'm not going to do anything. Or even a Torrential. If you have 3 field wipes in your opening hand, the other 3 cards that you're going to have are completely dead. So if we could do something with that, that would be decent too. But other than that, I haven't seen too many decks doing that around. I would just feel a lot more comfortable if that game mechanic was just gone, just for the mere chance that someone could do that in Maxi. Anyway, let's talk about the new rule changes that have come out from Konami. Obviously, the hygiene one. Really, guys? We had to finally get a rule change for this? I mean, unless you guys are like someone like me who has been to conventions and been to a few regionals, you will know that this is kind of a thing for people that have watched anime and played card games like this and whatnot, that hygiene isn't exactly on the top of their to-do list. So honestly, I mean, it's kind of sad that we had to get a rule change for this, but come on, guys. Taking a shower and washing your clothes every once in a while isn't that bad of an idea. Just saying, especially if you're going to go to a regional level event or YCS or God knows anything else. Taking a shower and getting a clean pair of clothes on. I mean, crap, just put on a friggin' thing of Axe. I don't give a shit. Just smell nice. I mean, nobody wants to sit next to a guy that's like, oh, hey man, what are you playing? I'm definitely not playing a trash can. That's for damn sure. But, come on, guys. Just take a shower, put on some clean clothes. Let's kind of smell a little bit nicer than we usually do. And again, it has to be a lot really embarrassing for a judge and for a player involved to be like, hey man, come here real quick. So yeah, you're gonna have to go into the bathroom and here's some soap, get some deodorant, and just go wash up in there. And don't worry, as soon as you go in, I'm just gonna let off an Axe grenade in there too. So just to really make sure that you smell really good. Okay, cool, good talk. But it's just gotta be embarrassing overall for not just the judge, but for the player that has to have that discussion with you about your hygiene. So please, let's try to do a little bit better with that. Thanks. Next is verbal statements over actual moves. I kind of do agree with this because, again, there wasn't a clear definition for what was actually a good move and what was a legitimate move over a verbal statement. So people would all the time be, taking a card, holding their hand on it. That's completely fine. That is what people are saying to do, is to keep your hand on the card while you're trying to figure out a move and placement, which is what has happened with Yu-Gi-Oh now. Placements and everything else have become important. But now they're saying that verbal statements overrule any physical movement that has happened on the field. I agree with this. Verbal statements do. But we're going to be discussing more of this with the next topic afterwards. But it's the fact of he said, she said that becomes the problem with the game, especially with this rule change, because again, verbal statements overrule physical actions. It becomes again a thing of he said, she said, and that can somewhat promote a toxic environment within the tournament itself. Because again, you could do a move, and let's say that for instance, I'm not saying you are. For instance, you're the cheater. You're the guy that's going, I'm gonna go main phase, battle phase, entering end of battle phase, and then it's like someone mind crushes and says, evenly matched. Let's say on this part you're gonna say, yeah, that's fine. So you did your evenly matched, like still battle phase, activate something else or whatever. It's like, whoa, you were entering the end of the battle phase, so you have to end the battle phase. And it's like, no, I didn't. Call a judge over. And it's not exactly the best example, but you see what I'm saying, is that something could happen and you then change your mind to continue with the phase. So now the judge is going to get called over and your opponent's going to say, well, he said this, and then you're going to say, no, I didn't. And it's like, the judge is going to, if I was the judge, I'd be kind of like, don't know what you really want me to do with this situation, because I don't know if you're telling the truth. I don't know if you're telling the truth. I'm kind of stuck in the middle here, so just make a move. I don't know what you want me to do. Which again, like Konami has kind of set themselves up for this, that now judges are going to be put into a somewhat of an awkward situation where they're going to have to try and believe one person or the other, and they're not exactly going to be going to the people next to them, asking them, hey, were you watching this? Did you see this? It's like, no, I'm paying attention to my own game. Why would I be listening to theirs? Like, I need to focus on my own game to win my own match. Don't know what to tell you. It just promotes a possible toxicity within the game of, again, he said, she said, is not exactly the best way to try and judge on an official tournament. Last thing we're going to talk about is, of course, the verification rule, which is where the rule change has kind of taken a downturn for the worse. I'm going to be devil's advocate here, and for just a second. Yes, it was an unfair advantage that you would be able to see all the cards in your opponent's hand, or if it was, as in their example, a Mystic Tomato, and they said they had no legal targets, you would technically be able to verify within their deck that they did not have a legal target for. Somewhat of an unfair advantage, but at the same time, it was, I think a lot of people were willing to sacrifice the fairness of information over the um, verification that they were telling the truth. Because unfortunately, in this game, a lot of people have been cheated out of it, especially during, I believe it was the Infinity format, where they were just hopping everywhere, and some of the top players have even stated that, yeah, all I have to do is literally set down all my monster. I could set down monster cards back in the spell and trap zone. No way to verify, and then activate Archfiend, special summon Archfiend, to go search and just start going off from there. It just promotes the possibility of cheating, which I think a lot of people are afraid of, because again, it has happened in the past before. So, don't really know what to tell you. That's kind of a very awkward thing for Konami to have changed, especially now, of all times. I mean, My Crush by far isn't one of the best cards that people are playing in their side deck right now. But unfortunately, with this rule change, basically Mind Crush has been killed. There's no way for them, unless they're going to errata it to confirm opponent's hand, which at that point is like, why did you even make the rule change in the first place? But now Mind Crush, basically, unless you're running Eradicator and you get to see all your opponent's draws and whatnot, Mind Crush has basically been killed. There's no way to play it. It's just like people are saying, play Ordeal of the Traveler. Just play that and basically just say no to everything, because again, your opponent can't verify anything in your hand. So if you have 3+ cards, good luck. Ordeal of the Traveler, yeah, your field's gonna be bounced back to your hand. Unless you have a Twin Twister ready to go, you're done. So unfortunately, that's the state of the game that we're going to be going into. I mean, again, I understand what they're trying to do, I guess. I'm not really seeing what the agenda is behind this rule change. But, again, I'm not really sure why it was necessary. Again, Mind Crush wasn't exactly a card that was getting abused this format. Ordeal of the Traveler has never been abused in any format for this kind of a thing. But now you have possibly made that one single trap card a possibility of being a ridiculous card for this format. Because again, just set a monster, set Ordeal. Come at me, bro. I still have 3 other cards in my hand. Guess what? And you're got the guess what all 3 of them are. Think of it. This one? No, that's a no. Call traps? Nope. Spell? Nope. Monster? Nope. Don't know what to tell you, because I'm going to keep shuffling my hand. So you're going to have to try and keep guessing a different card, or maybe even the same card. But it's a problem of verification. So that's just my opinions on this stuff, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a healthy change to the game, or has this kind of taken a downward spiral with the verification rule? Because, in my opinion, that's kind of a negative thing that has been impacted into the game. I don't agree with it. Unfortunately, I don't make the rules. I'll still try and go to tournaments and whatnot, but as far as my hand trap deck, if you guys haven't seen it, go to my channel, check it out. As far as my hand trap deck, yeah, the only way I'm going to be able to verify hands is with Eradicator Epidemic, because your opponent has to reveal for that card. So basically, anything that says your opponent has to reveal, that's where you're going to have to play now in order to get information. But anyway, this is BW368. Leave a comment down below, subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll talk to you guys later.